Welcome to the Talk Sox podcast. I'm Alex, and as always, I'm joined by Maddie. How are you today?
Good. Had a good fourth. Did you, Alex?
For the most part, it was pretty low key. My wife, father-in-law, and brother-in-law took my kids to go see our community fireworks at like 9:30 on the 4th. I stayed home because we also have two dogs who don't do well with fireworks, as most dogs don't. And so I stayed home and hung out with them. But it was really low key. Just grilled some burgers, hot dogs, and just kind of sat. We watched Independence Day. My wife had never seen Independence Day.
Huh. I haven't either.
Pretty low key. It's not. I mean, it's a Will Smith movie.
Okay. Well, what's the movie with the pug and the aliens?
Men in Black,
Men
phenomenal.
in Black.
I love Men in
Yeah.
Black. Men in Black was my childhood. But I mean, Independence Day is a good movie. It's not a great movie. So if you've never seen it, maybe watch it next July 4th. That's about the only time I ever think to maybe watch Independence Day is on July 4th.
Okay.
But it's
Noted.
not anything you just got to run out and see. Although we did watch, not this is on any kind of topic that's on the rundown. We did watch the 4 episodes of My Crazy Neighbor on Netflix. It's wild. It's crazy. Highly suggested. Each episode's about an hour long. We took a few days and watched them. It's nutso. It really is.
Huh. I'll keep that in mind.
We're big
I
true
saw
crime people in this house.
Okay.
So
I like true crime, but okay. That might be intriguing now. True story. Oh, that's always the worst part.
Yeah, they're all true, and it's firsthand accounts, which is rough. I was telling Maddie that when I sat down, for those of you listening, my mouse said it was dead, and so my mouse is now plugged in, so that way I'm able to stop the recording when we're done at the end of this. So I'm pulling up our forum questions here on my phone. As always, if you're somehow new this week, we started with our 50th episode 3 episodes ago. That's crazy. With a mailbag, and it went over so well that as Diamond Centric as a whole has decided to utilize it on a weekly format during the season. We've had some excellent questions up to this point, and we have got 3 really good ones. Only one of them pertains to the Red Sox, which I actually think is kind of refreshing. And we're going to get into some All-Star game talk with these questions. So, Maddie, are you ready for the forum questions?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, so this is from our community moderator, MVP. I think he's contributed to every single one that we've had so far. He's got 3 phenomenal questions. First one, we'll keep it with the Red Sox. He says, all right, people keep saying that the Sox, this is in quotes, Sox are just 5 games back. They can still be buyers. When can we put this nonsense to bed? It's July.
Well, I think, let me pull up their actual schedule, Red Sox.
Yeah, we took a little deep dive into strength of schedule for this question, so get ready.
Yeah. So they just swept the Angels over the weekend, which is the Angels are one of the worst teams in the AL.
I mean, we saw with the Rockies, that's a team they also should have swept, and they lost that series. So it definitely wasn't a given that they were going to sweep the Angels.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting them to. That was a little surprising, but yeah, I'll take it. This week they play a much more competitive team, the Chicago White Sox, than the Mets. So I baseball, anything can happen, but the Mets aren't too scary. I mean, what was the game where their infield gave up? What was it? 5 errors?
Yeah, I wrote about this last week. The Mets and the Red Sox are in very eerily similar situations right now.
So, I mean, in terms of strict, and that was also a great article, Alex.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Just at least the Red Sox don't have as many large contracts as the Mets.
Oh, man. As much as I wanted Soto, I'm so glad that he's not part of this right now.
Yeah, that's looking really rough with just
Although, did you see this report today that all this stuff with Soto talking about how him and Lindor are cool, and all this stuff? Somebody came out and was like, "My clubhouse sources are saying absolutely not, and they're trying to shop Lindor."
huh.
Color me very intrigued if Francisco Lindor is available.
Uh hmm. Huh. Huh. Hmm. Hmm. Lindor. Uh,
He hasn't been healthy much this year,
no, he
but
hasn't. But
he's got that swag that this team is missing,
that's true.
and I
He's a
think
New Balance
he'll
guy.
play. Yeah, I think that he'll play well in Boston. I don't think it's going to happen, but the Mets and Red Sox do match up pretty well on a trade. Should that be what needs to happen?
We can get into that later.
Yeah.
So uh back to strength of schedule. The Red Sox have a .502 per Fangraphs metrics. Um the rest of the AL is is just around or under 500. The entire AL Central is the Mariners are at 500 and the Angels are at 505, but they also have a 0% shot of oh no, 0.2% chance of making the playoffs.
You gotta give them their point too.
And yeah, I mean, .502, I mean, it's not the highest, but it's also not the lowest. And
Right.
they close out the season playing the Cubs, which I think is really random. And
Yeah.
the Cubs usually end the season on a strong note.
Hmm.
So, and
And
the Red
then
Sox
whimper
don't.
out in the playoffs.
Well, yeah, well, I feel bad. Their rotation is just marred with injuries.
I think that is another team that we can look at for potential trades. I don't like a lot of what the Cubs have to offer, but the Red Sox have things that the Cubs want. So
Mhm.
I do think it's really weird that we opened the season and are going to close the season against the NL Central.
Yeah, it's a full circle moment.
Yeah. Yeah. So their strength of schedule, middle of the pack, a little less than middle of the pack. Um, Realistically, we had the report from Alex Spear today that says that the Red Sox really still aren't, or Craig Breslow is really still not sure which direction he's going to take. And Spear anticipates that won't start coming into shape until after the All Star game, which makes a little bit of sense. You swept the Yankees, dropped a series to the Nationals, swept the Angels. If you keep the momentum going into the break, I don't think they'll sweep the White Sox by any means, but I think 2 out of 3 is on the table with the way that they've been playing. Um, I think that you should sweep the Mets, but it's in New York. Um, so you never know what's going to happen there. They haven't responded to the firing of their manager like the Phillies have responded to the firing of their manager. So it's not like they've suddenly become world beaters, and that pitching staff is borderline garbage. Um, Outside of
Yeah,
McGrain.
yeah. Yeah, Mania has just turned into a pumpkin.
Yeah, and not this past offseason, but the offseason before, I really wanted Sean Manaea in Boston. I
Mhm.
thought he would fit really, really well. Um,
Yeah, but
so I'm kind of glad that didn't happen.
yeah, he gave up 6 earned runs against the Braves on the 4th.
Yeah, and the Braves have not been a good team really since the Red Sox last played them. Um, Bryce
Yeah,
Elder
yeah.
has had 3 horrible starts in a row.
Mhm.
Um,
Strider's
Chris
on the IL.
Sale, yeah, Strider's continually on the IL. Sale is
Mhm.
probably their best option, and that's great. Chris Sale's great, but he's also probably a year or 2 out from retirement at this point. And if he's your best, then that's concerning.
Yeah, I think they'll be in the market for Casey. I always mispronounce his last name. Casey Mize from the Tigers. or
Yeah.
Mies or Reed Detmers.
I've always said Mize. I actually think they don't match up well, but I would be shocked if the Braves don't go after Scooble.
Does their farm system though have enough to push the
I don't think
chips
their farm
forward?
system has enough to get Sonny Gray, who I think is the second best option on the market.
Eh,
But
I might say Reed Detmers. Call me crazy.
I think
I know the Red Sox got to him. My thing is, like, if you look at his ERA compared to his FIP, put a good defense behind him, and I think he will start to look good.
Yeah. Put not Vaughn Grissom at first base.
Ooh, that was just seeing him again over the weekend. I was like,
he
oh,
was very annoyed that the Red Sox were around.
yeah.
You could tell in his body language and every bit of him, he was annoyed that the Red Sox were anywhere close to him. I think there's an argument for Detmers. I would still give the edge to Gray for a contender because Gray is technically on a 1-year deal. It's a mutual option at the end of the season. But that's what's really weird. It's a mutual option for 1 season for $30 million, or it's a $10 million buyout. So while you're not on the hook, you're only on the hook for like $6 million this year, $5 million for the rest of this season because the Red Sox have paid most of his $11 million down. Next season, it's either $30 million or $10 million. You've got to have a team that's willing to take on that money.
Yeah,
but I think that you'll get a contender to do it. I think the Braves, maybe the Cubs. The Cubs have been on a bit of a tear lately, but they need pitching. I think the Phillies make sense for Sonny Gray.
They're one of the few teams I could actually afford to take on his contract.
Yeah.
Or John Middleton will just throw money at the team.
Right. As for the question, when can we put it to bed? I think it's after the All-Star break. I am of the belief that this season is pretty much over. Even after the Yankees sweep, I wasn't like I was excited. I loved beating the Yankees. I love sweeping the Yankees. It's like, but when Aaron Judge is back, and if we see them in the playoffs again, like it's going to be a 2-game sweep at best. like the Red Sox might squeak out win, but you're looking at Garrett Crochet, who's not going to rejoin the rotation until probably mid-August at the earliest. I would say probably September. You've got, and we're not going to do our injury roundtable just yet. We're going to get through these questions, but you've got Roman Anthony, who's probably in August replant into the lineup at best, as we sit here on the 6th of July. It's just, I don't know. I don't think that there's a reason to push all the chips in this year. And so I'm kind of with you, MVP, that, it's July. And I think that they should call it. But I don't think Craig Breslow is bold enough to make that call yet.
Yeah, it's before we're a week out from the All-Star. Well, a little over a week out. Well, soon to be a week out by the time this drops.
As recording, we're a week out from the Derby.
And which will be on Netflix. Anyway.
Yeah. I'm over that.
Yeah, they might lure me back because it's back to swings instead of pitches. That's the one thing. Yeah. Or I'm kind of intrigued. But anyway, back. I think it's too early to wave the white flag. I don't think Breslow's ego could take it.
No.
I get it. I mean, you're running an esteemed professional baseball team. You're not gonna wave the white flag this early. But objectively, they've been playing well. Aside from the National Series and the Rocky Series, I mean, they swept their biggest rival a couple of weeks ago
at home, which was
at home
probably unheard of earlier this season.
Yeah. So I mean, you don't want to kill that perceived momentum, and I mean, these wins have just been like, dare I say, a Wendy's run. Where it feels good, and then you're like, oh shoot, I just ate like 20 like chicken nuggets.
Yeah,
like, nothing good in the long term.
Yeah, it's too early to call, but I understand where you're coming from, and I think that as we get past the All-Star break, and we'll talk about the second half schedule to wrap up the show, but coming out of the All-Star break is rough, and I think that's probably going to be what puts the final nail in the coffin, and you'll see a pretty quick sell-off from there. Speaking of the All-Star game, that's where our next two questions reside. The first one says, on the All-Star game, can we just be done with fan voting or at least change the format after the Blue Jays ballot stuffing this year? Yeah.
Yeah.
We touched on it. Was it last episode or the episode right before that, where neither one of us are fans of the fan vote? I understand it. I get it. You want people to be involved, but you essentially have an entire country voting for players of one team where you have regional votes for everybody else. And no offense to Ernie Clement, he's a good baseball player, but he shouldn't be the starting second baseman of the American League All-Star team. And Vlad
Right.
Guerrero has been not good this season.
He pulled out with some type, was it a back injury, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, he's not starting, but still, yeah.
Which likely opens the door for Contreras to make the team. Although, if you're suspended over the All-Star break, are you allowed to play in the All-Star game?
That's a good question.
Because last I checked before we hopped on here, we've heard nothing about his suspension yet.
We have about
So,
Savali.
yeah, down from 7 to 5. He still misses one start. I think that's so stupid.
Yeah.
The Red Sox are
Yeah,
going to be without Contreras for probably at least 4 games, potentially up to 7. Cavalli, who is racist and started it by being racist, misses a start. Although his elbow barked yesterday and his velocity was down, and they pulled him out of the game. So,
well, I don't want to say that's what you get for being racist, but
right,
that's what you get for being karma.
yeah.
Karma. What comes around goes around.
The amount of texts that I've gotten over the past 24 hours, it's like, I hope his arm falls off. Like, yeah, yep. From non-Sox fans. We're like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, like I said, you've got an entire country voting for Blue Jays players.
Well,
I'll be honest, I submitted a ballot, maybe 2 this year.
I submitted a couple, and dare I say I voted for a couple of Yankees players.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah. Yeah, just I mean, just based on the numbers, they have been playing well. Like, I voted for Ben Rice, I'll admit it.
I did on one. His recent very cold stretch led me to not vote for him on another one, solely because, like, and I probably should have still voted for him, but when you're not the protector for Aaron Judge, yeah, you're going to start seeing pitches that you didn't see when Aaron Judge was hitting behind you. So, as a second-year player, you're going to struggle. So that's technically why I didn't vote for him in one of mine, but for the most part, yeah, I voted for Ben Rice. I didn't vote for Judge just because it's a wasted vote.
Yeah, yeah. I voted for
Same thing with
Bellinger,
Stanton.
too.
Yeah, I did too. I like Belly.
Mhm.
We should have all voted for Anthony Volpe because that would have been hilarious.
No, that would be so bad. Oh.
He's out there just making critical errors in the All-Star game.
Well, the fact that people called him the next Jeter is hilarious, and he'll never live that down.
Never. Absolutely never. Yeah, the fan voting stinks. I understand why they do it. It's not going to go away, but it should not have nearly the amount of impact that it has on this game.
And All-Star game, I mean, making the All-Star game is a big deal, but I mean, with the fan voting, I take it with a grain of salt, and especially, yeah, it's like, I mean, it's brought up in arbitration hearings,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, it shouldn't really be worth that much, but it's not a huge merit, but whatever. I mean, I understand the All-Star game's a nice little break from grueling season, and The marketing materials was pushed out a little too much, but you gotta generate hype somehow for the
Yeah, so
sport.
much so that the city of Philadelphia ruined the announcement for a bunch of guys.
I, oh gosh, yeah. Mm.
I know when I was a kid and we would go to Busch Stadium and like you could get like the actual cards to fill out. Like I thought that was so cool. Um, I haven't been to a game really in my adult life that's around All-Star voting time, so I don't know if they still do that. I assume that they probably don't. But when I was a kid, those
No,
cards were so cool.
they work. I would just filling them. I remember, get my little pencil and just
Yeah, and
mark
drop
them
them in the
up.
box when you leave.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome. And so I
But
get it
yeah,
because it worked on us as kids.
mhm. Uh, now everything's online.
Yeah. And so the last question that we have, also centered around the All-Star game. Um, MVP said that Bud Selig ruined the All-Star game forever for him when he allowed that game to tie. How would we fix the All-Star game to bring fans like MVP back? That's a honestly to me that's a pretty tough question. Do you have any thoughts on that, Maddie?
Yeah, I don't know how to fix the All-Star game. Well, I think it's good they're moving in the right direction that the players are wearing their actual team's uniforms and not
Yeah,
another thing that the league is trying to sell.
yeah, yeah. I like that a lot. I always hated the like specialty uniforms. I thought they looked really stupid.
Yeah, you still see the 2024 one, Durant's, All-Star game jersey whenever you go to a
Yes,
Red Sox game in person.
yeah, yeah. I've noticed that.
So, yeah, kinda scary, but
um, I do like the jerseys. I don't.
but how do you
I
fix
don't
it?
know. Yeah, it because like I used to watch the NBA All Star Game all the time too, and
Mhm.
I don't think I've paid attention to that in close to 10 years at this point. It's an offensive like I mean, there's no defense played at all in the NBA All Star Game, and that's changed the last couple years. They've made other incentives and stuff. Um, I actually think the way that you can fix it isn't dealing with the game itself. I think it's to adapt some of what the NBA has done with like the challenges that they have. Like the day before the All Star game, they have the 3-point challenge and the slam dunk contest and like the relay thing. Whereas baseball just has the home run derby, and the home run derby is awesome. Um, one of my favorite memories growing up every year. So my birthday is next Monday. It's a week from today. And so my birthday is always right around the All-Star game. And I remember going on vacation with my family and we would always make it a point to be back at the hotel or wherever we were staying to watch the home run derby. And so now as an adult, like that's something that I still do. Like we're flying in from Chicago Monday, but Monday night I will watch the home run derby with my wife and my kids until my kids go to bed. Um, and I just that's always been a huge thing to me. But I think that if there were more skill based competitions around that, that culminates with the home run derby, like the skills challenges culminate with the slam dunk contest in the NBA. I think that would be interesting. Now, what those skill challenges could be, I don't really know. Um, you'd have to get pretty creative, but there's enough drills and stuff that you do in baseball that it's possible to do that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
The one thing that you run into is, of course, the injury risk. In basketball, the injury risk is mitigated quite a bit in those skills challenges, but in baseball, as we've seen with our own players, you can get hurt swinging a bat. So it becomes a little iffy.
Yeah. Or what? Yeah, I a skill yeah, I think, hmm. S yeah, I think some type of relay could be cool, but I just don't know a relay of what and how you would do
Yeah,
it with multiple people on the field. I don't have my creative hat on.
yeah.
Um,
I would like to see something with fielding if that's the direction it's going to go, like some kind of like fielding challenges, base running, something. Um, but I don't really have an answer, and I hate that because I agree that the game itself does need to be fixed, but I think that they are at least recognizing that fact now. Excuse me, now, with like you said, they're going back to swings or outs instead of swings. And I think that's a really good thing. I hated the clock when everything got pushed
Yeah,
up against the clock. I didn't like that. Um, but outs is classic, and I think that's great. You could bring metal bats into the equation. You
that would
couldn't
be
put anybody in
dangerous.
the outfield. You could not put anybody in the seats. You could only sell seats behind the plate. But yeah, imagine that home run derby in Colorado with Guerrero with a metal bat.
Caleb Durbin might hit more than him this year.
It's going to be interesting. Oh, home run derby is. I don't know. Maybe they're going to ask him. I think there's only one confirmed name for the home run derby
And
right
it's
now.
Caminero, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and we're a week out.
I think Schwarber said he might do it. I mean, it would make a lot of sense, given that
I know
it's in
Trout
Philly.
wanted to, and the Angels said no. But
Well, with his
apparently,
injury
they're going
history.
to let him play the All Star game, or he's angling to play the All Star game.
Yeah, and the fact that he was voted in is just, I mean, it's name recognition
And
over
I think it's a lot of
competency.
people in Philadelphia voting for him just because he's a hometown boy, and you want to watch your guys. And I mean, if I'm the Angels, like a home run derby, I guess is one thing. If you're in it in a playoff race or something, or you're in contention, yeah, obviously Mike Trout's not playing the All Star game, but with the position that the Angels are in right now, like you're arguably the worst team in baseball. You've got nothing to lose, and it's just going to like Trout's going to sell some All Star jerseys. People are going to buy the jerseys with the patch on the sleeve, and you're going to make some more money off that. So I don't think there's any harm in letting him play. I'd probably let him do the Derby too, to be honest, but I get it.
Mhm. But, yeah, that's a tough question, and maybe we can revisit it.
Yeah, I want to do some brainstorming when it's not later at night, and I can think of some things that might be able to fix it. That can be next week's episode. We'll talk about that. So yeah, so moving on from the questions, those are great. We love them. Keep them coming. They really make us kind of take a deep dive and do some thinking on them. So we've gotten quite a bit of injury things lately. We were gonna kind of space it all out, but we just kind of decided it'd be easier just to kind of roundtable it. We could kind of jump around from person to person. I guess where I kind of want to start is Roman Anthony, who has been sent to Fort Myers to continue his rehab. He's not even rehabbing. He's not swinging a bat right now. But he is meeting with the Atlanta Braves doctor, head physician, who is a hand specialist, to get another opinion on whatever is going on with his tendon and his ring finger. I've read varying things on this over the past 24 hours. Excuse me. People are like, he's going there because he's concerned that it's taking so long to heal, but he is now entering the 8 to 12 weeks of when it's supposed to be fully healed. And this is just a way to be like, man, you're fine. Just let it finish healing and you'll be good to go. And then other people are like, I think he might be having surgery.
Those are two extremes. We don't know
Yeah,
what's
yeah. There's
going
no
on.
reason to speculate, really. I just think that
Mhm.
it's incredibly frustrating that it has taken this long to go meet with this guy. And maybe that's his schedule. He's the Braves head physician, so he's busy. But we couldn't have done this 4 weeks ago when we were a month out from the injury and the cortisone shot wasn't working.
Yeah, especially for your best bat or the guy who's supposed to be your best bat and a star player, franchise cornerstone. I mean, you should be giving him white glove service, basically, with
Yeah.
yeah, it, and it just seems like they haven't been handling their injured players with care. We talk about this last week with the
A little
injuries?
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say they're injured more than other teams, but just they need to. It just when you have a baby, you're not gonna. I don't know, leave it outside in a cardboard box. Like, you want to take care of it, and not saying these players are babies. They're not soccer players, but just you need to treat your star players with any player in general, just like with like, and prioritize getting, thread the needle between getting them back healthy and not rushing them.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing is they're like, and we're also getting conflicting reports at this point. Like, it was, right after it happened, Anthony was like, "Oh, I'll be back in 10 days, no big deal." And it's actually like, 4 to 6 weeks, and now it's 8 to 12 weeks. Why don't we just stop putting timelines on things? I think that would ease a lot of people's frustration if we're just like, hey, like, especially with this was such a unique injury that you had hand specialists that hadn't heard of this before, and so they're like, it's, who knows? It could be 8 weeks, it could be 12 weeks, it could be 4 weeks. It just kind of depends on how his body heals. And I'm really, really tired of the Anthony is soft thing. He's had 2 injuries in his 2 professional seasons, his 2 big league seasons, and they're freakish injuries. They're like, well, they're soft tissue injuries, so that means that he's not durable. Like, no, that's not what it means. It means that he literally swings the hardest bat in professional baseball, and check swung and caught it with his ring finger. I it's just people looking for things to complain about, and people looking for a reason to hate on Anthony to further their hatred of Craig Breslow. And I don't know if you'll find 2 people on this website that dislike Craig Breslow more than the 2 of us, but neither one of us would go to that reach about Roman Anthony. Like, he's not soft. It's not that he doesn't want to be out there. He was willing to play through the pain until it got so bad that he can't physically swing a bat. What do you want him to do? That's what he does. He swings baseball bats for a living. What is he supposed to do?
A part of, thinking about just the kinetic energy sequence with swinging, it's like it starts from the ground up, and then ground up, legs, core, then arms, hands. If he tore his the ring finger or the tendon there's some leftover energy that's being transferred to his hands, which is also, I mean, I know he's revamped his swing a little bit, I would say, since the oblique injury where he worked on strengthening his back in the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it sounds like he needs to do that again just for his arms and I'd say, his entire arms.
I think realistically, we're probably looking, best case scenario is Anthony rejoins the big league squad at the end of August. Once he's able, the thing about this injury is once you're able to swing a bat, you're able to immediately start your rehab assignment. But he's going to probably have to take that full 20 days to get back up to speed.
Yeah, and even then, I mean, if the season's done, if the org wants to wave the white flag, I don't think they should rush him to getting back on the field. Yeah. I'd be okay with him, missing out on the rest of the season, just if that meant his career, if that meant he's not putting his career on the line.
Yeah, to guarantee he's healthy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The other big name, obviously, is Garrett Crochet, who the last time he spoke essentially said that he's not expecting to be back until after the All-Star game at this point. I think he's throwing plyometric balls right now, which are the size of baseballs. But last we've seen, he hasn't started a throwing program yet. Same thing. He's going to need probably 3, maybe 4 or 5 starts at double and triple A, whoever's home, to knock the rust off and get back up with the big league club. I think you've got some very interesting conversations when Garrett Crochet is able to return, considering they just called Patrick Sandoval up. I assume that when Ranger Suarez goes on the IL, Brayan Bello will get a call up. It's going to be really interesting when Crochet's back if both of those guys are still up. But it's a lot of, hey, here's an update. There is no update.
Yeah, it's a lot of tail chasing, which I'm not a fan of. I mean, I've said this before on here, where development is not linear. So I mean, it's not like the season's on the line. I think they will finish either fourth or fifth in the division at the end of the day.
Yeah, I don't have them even penciled in to make the third wild card spot.
A lot of things would have to go right, and I don't see Siegler continuing to bat the way he is.
No, and I think that the teams ahead of you in that wild card race are going to be buyers at the deadline. We already know the Astros are buyers at the deadline. Although I've been reading that they're willing to listen to offers on Pena, which intrigues me.
I like Pena.
I'm terrified that Craig is going to wind up with Paredes in some way, shape, or form.
I like that. That just no. He needs that whole conversation needs to be put to bed. I am sick of hearing about Isaac Paredes.
Yeah,
for like over a year now.
Yeah, it's ran its course, and there's a reason he's not here, and it needs to stay that way. Yeah, I think the Astros will be buyers.
The Orioles apparently are going to be.
Yeah, I'll believe that when I see it, just because I don't believe that organization can effectively run itself. You assume that the Mariners are going to buy. You assume that the Rangers are going to buy. You honestly have to assume that the Athletics are going to buy. The AL West is wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're
the poor Angels. Even then, they said they're not selling, which is a bunch of baloney. Like they could.
Yeah, what, they're not going to listen to Joe Adele
or Detmers apparently, but
I don't understand it.
I think now would be the time to sell Trout, especially with. I mean, the Phillies need for a right fielder.
Yeah, and they would pay. They would pay.
Anyway.
The other, obviously, we had the Ranger Suarez abductor tightness in the start yesterday on Sunday, that very late game. That was so dumb. So dumb. 9:30 on Peacock. Like, that's stupid. He had the quad tightness or the hamstring tightness. Almost a month ago exactly, avoided an IL stint. I think the hope is that he can avoid an IL stint and they can maybe skip his turn through the rotation this time and get him through both these series and through the All-Star break and have him come back healthy. It's kind of what I think they're going to try to do. But I do think that we see Brayan Bello come up for that. As we know, Patrick Sandoval is coming up. The men's team just lost.
Yes. And talk about an overperforming team that everybody's buying, or that everybody was buying in on. No, if you just watch the Argentinian team, they are actually, that is what a real soccer team looks like.
Yeah.
That's my soccer rant for the episode. Sorry.
As somebody who has not watched a second of the World Cup, I'm not going to start now either. But we talked about that last episode. I can't get into soccer. My best friend is a phenomenal soccer player and loves it, and we play FIFA. I enjoy playing FIFA, but that's as deep as I get. And neither one of us ever play with American teams. It's always with Champions Club. So
there's
Champions League team. Yeah.
But I think this is another sign to just punt on the season, with Ranger dealing with some type of potential injury. This has happened with the Phillies, though, around the midpoint, I guess you could say, of the season, where he just deals with some type of injury but then comes back. I mean, when was it? 2022 in July, he was placed on the 15-day IL for lower back spasms. Then 2023, this is August, he was placed on the 15-day IL for an upper right hamstring strain. And then 2024, he was placed on the 15-day IL for lower back soreness.
Okay. So there's a bit of a history here. Hopefully, with the break coming up, avoid the IL, come back post All-Star break and feel more like himself. But I think to kind of go hand in hand with that, you've got the Connelly early injury now, who was pulled in a pretty dominant start because he had some left elbow tightness. They said it was in the rear of the elbow, which typically means that it is not something that they are concerned about Tommy John surgery with, but Connelly is going to get a second opinion from, let me get the doctor's name up.
Is it
Come on,
Neil
Cotillo, don't let me
Elatrache?
down. No.
No. Okay.
Come on, Cotillo. I believe in you. Here we go. Connelly early was removed from the start during the last homestand. Is going to see Dr. Keith Meister in Arlington, Texas. He's kind of the Tommy John whisperer. This article on Mass Live says in the immediate aftermath of some testing performed in Boston, the Red Sox said that Early was not dealing with any structural damage to the elbow, but the fact that he is going to see a guy who's known for performing Tommy John surgery concerns me quite a bit. I do think that it's still a very interesting conversation around the trade market for either Early or Bennett. I don't like to put too much stock into this kind of stuff, but I wonder what if somehow they do trade Connelly early during the season. I wonder what that does to Peyton Tolley, because those two are attached at the hip. And I have sort of the same concern about Marcelo Meyer potentially being dealt and Roman Anthony. Now, you obviously don't keep guys on the team because they're each other's emotional support friends, but I do wonder what kind of impact it will have on their psyche, because these guys have come up through the system together and they are very, very close. Roman and Marcelo live together in Portland.
Do they still live together in Boston?
I feel like that's a horrible decision if that's what's currently happening. With all the stories that are coming out about them.
I saw something where, like a year ago, somebody sent me something where, it was a photo of a real estate agent and Roman and Marcelo, and it said something like, "Congrats on closing on your first apartment." And I'm thinking, so like Roman's the sugar daddy, good for him, but
yeah, in that situation, he would be, yes.
But just I think no, not Roman. I think Marcelo has a girlfriend now, so I mean that might help with some
he caught a
debauchery.
lot of nonsense about that on social media when he posted a picture of him and her after a loss. And
but let him be happy.
I mean,
just
these are young men with lives to live. Like
when people shit on, excuse me, Roman for like going to a bar, and like he's what, 21, 22, like just let him be. I don't if it was an issue, I think somebody would have addressed it.
I do wonder if that's part of the reason why he's been sent to Florida, though. Because even Tracy made a comment today that was like, "Oh, we've got to get him away from Fenway." Like,
I thought about that too. Where I mean, pry him out of those Southie bars. I mean, Fort Myers.
Well,
I mean,
apparently he's always out. He's always out in the North End. He's at all the Italian restaurants.
What's the one that they all post at? You know,
Yeah, I don't
You
know
know
the
the
name
one,
of it,
yeah.
but yeah.
But
It's the one that AC and all of them went to the day after they got fired.
yeah, you can never go wrong with carbonara.
Yeah. One of my favorite things that's happened from him this season is he was at one of those restaurants and the owner took him to meet some guy sitting at the table. And they had a video of it, and the guy was like, "Oh yeah, I'm a big fan. Are you in the lineup tonight?" And Roman was like, "I'm hurt." Like, "Oh yeah, I'm a big fan. Okay, okay."
I'm hurt. Yeah.
I don't. Is there anyone else that big? Obviously, that
Well, I think we might see your favorite player back before anybody we just listed. And that's
um,
Trevor's story.
yeah. Unfortunately, he's ahead of his recovery schedule.
Yeah, I mean, he underwent surgery on May 22nd, and
Something like that. Yeah.
yeah, looking at like I have my notes, 8 to 12 weeks of recovery time, so he could be back by I mean mid-August at the latest.
Yeah, I think that he's pushing for closer to like right at the trade deadline. At this point, the season's pretty well over. Like, if he's back, he's back. I'd rather him be back with Marcelo being healthy because I don't think that Marcelo gives up the shortstop position if he's healthy. But I guess that's the other injury we haven't really talked about, him or IKF, who are dealing with the same injury, although IKF's is worse. Um, but I mean, Trevor Story will be the starting shortstop of the Boston Red Sox when he returns, as long as Marcelo is still hurt. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and I don't think his bat moves the needle that much in offense.
Not at all. And I would really just like to. I mean, I wish they could figure out a way to trade him. To be honest with you, but it's going to be that's a tough sell for somebody to eat that money, especially if he's not healthy at the deadline. If he hasn't come back yet, so like I said, Marcelo and IKF, really no updates on that either. I think we're all just kind of expecting that to take however long it takes. That's the thing. Like, it's so pointless to try to like assume things about these injury stints and everything because we have no idea. We're not doctors. We're not in those conversations. My biggest gripe with the Marcelo thing was I think that it was poorly handled on both sides, the teams and Marcelo's. With the report coming out that people within the organization think that he's a little soft, and then how he handled it afterwards. I don't care for either one of those things. That's the biggest. I think those are all the big injury wrap ups.
Yeah, just yeah, I don't think we can bet on any of these guys coming back really to change the trajectory of the season.
I'd be shocked if any of them are back before the trade deadline.
Yeah, and well,
And that's going to
Casas.
decide the fate. Yeah, Casas is the last one. They've stopped all baseball activity again because he now has a wrist injury. This is the third injury since his knee.
Mm-hmm. And
I hate it. I like Tristan Casas a lot. But
you won't
man,
find a bigger Casas fan than
yeah, absolutely.
me.
Like,
Yeah, and
yeah, you are the Casas person.
and it's sad to see, but I don't think you can keep putting your eggs in his basket without just being disappointed. I mean,
do you think he's non-tendered?
mm, mm,
He's making $1.6 million this year to not play baseball. I think that he has to get a raise next year. That's the way arbitration works.
mm-hmm.
I think that
Well,
probably $2 million is the cap there.
really though,
I don't think they'll go over $2 million.
I could see it staying around the 1.6 million. I mean, since he
I
hasn't
kind of
played.
1.8 I think is the sweet spot. I think 2 million is the upper end. I don't think they'll go over 2 million. To me, if you're giving him 1.8 or 2 million, keep him around. There's no reason to not tender.
And yeah, I don't think given his injury history, which he's acknowledged, I don't think he would ask for an egregious raise in
I don't think
arbitration.
so either. This isn't where was it 2 years ago where they were trying to do some contract negotiation, and his original thing was like, "Oh, I don't need like life-changing money," and then they offered him what they thought was a fair deal, and he like didn't even look at it. So, nobody knows what he's going to ask for until him and his agent put the number in front of the Red Sox front office. But I'm with you. I don't think that he's going to ask for anything crazy. Especially, I mean, I doubt he plays an inning of baseball this year.
Whether it's at the minors, more, major.
Yeah, in general.
Mm-hmm.
I do worry that he is probably I think the lockout probably saves him too. I think that if it was a full off season, then that's a conversation you're having in probably January or February. But without knowing when the season's actually going to be able to start, I do wonder if the next time you see Tristan Casas play professional baseball, it's overseas.
I think he would be pretty popular in Japan. We're seeing that with Bobby Dalbec.
He would be an absolute monster in Japan.
He could possibly break Murakami's home run record. Dare I say?
In his first season.
Yeah.
In his first season.
And some players have done that, and they've come back and done well. Who was the Blue Jays pitcher? Shoot.
Who blew out his knee?
I
don't know who you're talking about, but I don't remember his name.
It happens where they, and he's still young.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. I mean, he's still in his 20s. Like, it's not like we're looking like a 30, 31, 32-year-old. He has a baseball career in front of him. I just don't know if it gets back on track here in the States, and I'm less and less convinced that it happens with the Boston Red Sox. We've touched on this a little bit, just kind of in passing. Does the Angel sweep matter at all to you?
No.
No.
It's no.
They're arguably the worst team in baseball. They have outside of Detmers, quadruple A pitchers. They have Vaughn Grissom playing first base. Like, there's so many reasons why, like, I don't care one bit about that sweep. And I'm not going in saying I expected the sweep. We talked about that at the beginning of the episode. I expected 2 out of 3, just because that's the way things typically go for the Red Sox. So the sweep's great. It is what it is, but it does very little for me to instill any confidence in this team as we're heading into the All-Star break and into the trade deadline. Like you said, we've got the White Sox coming up. That's going to be a tough series. At best, I think you're going to take 2 out of 3 there, but I could see a series loss. I could see a reverse sweep to where you don't win a game, because that tends to be the Red Sox MO. There is no continuation of momentum. You sweep the Yankees, get beat by the Nationals.
Then you sweep the Angels, then you
then you get beat by the White Sox. Or even like, what was the series before the Colorado series?
It was
the Mariners.
Yeah, it took 2 or 3 from them.
Yeah, and the Mariners are they're a 500 team, but they're in contention for the top seed in the AL West. And then you go into Colorado and forget how to play baseball for 2 games. And you come home and face the Yankees, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is going to be a bloodbath," and it was, but just the other way. And then you drop 2 or 3 to the Nationals. So it could be that they ride this momentum for the first time since the back-to-back series wins against the Brewers and the Cardinals in early April. That's the last time the Red Sox have won back-to-back series this season. or you're going to show up in Chicago tomorrow or today, if you're listening to this when it comes out, and fall on your face. Like, those are really your only two options here. And that's unfortunate. I think we both kind of expect the Mets series to be a win.
It depends on who's pitching for the Mets.
If it's Senga, you're going to get 5 or 6 runs in the first 2 innings.
If they see McLean, I could see 2 of 3. But when McLean, it's still TBD. When McLean unravels, it's bad. We saw that in the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah.
And he becomes pretty predictable.
Yeah. Yeah, he really settles into like a 2-pitch mix at that point and doesn't deviate from it at all.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of like we've talked about all episode, coming out of the All-Star break is a slog. You've got a doubleheader that first Friday against the Rays. You've got the first game at 1:35, and then you've got the night game at 7:10. You've got the Saturday game at 4:10, Sunday game at 1:35. Immediately, the Orioles then come into town, followed by the Blue Jays. So hit or miss there. I think that might be when you start to see the teams change a little bit through trades and stuff.
Oh, do you think the Red Sox play the Orioles worse at home, or am I going crazy?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
they play far better on the road against them.
Mm-hmm. But then, is it the A's? A's after the
A's for 4 in Sacramento. So you're going to score a lot of runs, but unless your pitching is rock solid, you're going to give up a lot of runs. And then immediately after the A's in Sacramento, you have the Dodgers for 3 in 3 games right before the trade deadline. The trade deadline's on August 3rd, right?
Yes.
So the Red Sox are off that day.
Because they were last year too.
Yes. Which everybody kind of hoped that would give them like a bit of an edge, and Craig Breslow turned into Craig Breslow.
Got Dustin May.
So yeah, you wrap up against the Dodgers on the 2nd. You fly home that night. The trade deadline itself is an off day, and then you have the White Sox at home, followed by the A's, followed by at the Blue Jays, at the Pirates, Diamondbacks at home, Giants at home, at Marlins, at Yankees, Mariners at home, at Orioles, Angels at home, and we're into September now, but then Royals at home, at Rangers, at Tampa, Guardians at home, and then Cubs at home to round out the season. You're facing a lot of teams that are winning their divisions right now.
Yeah, and I think the AL West, is wide open, and there's a lot of incentive for the Rangers and Mariners to play well in those series. It's the 2 weeks after the All-Star break are going to be brutal, and I'm not saying that because it's a 1-week West Coast road trip before the All-Star break.
How weird is it that the West Coast trips have been broken up the way they've been broken up this season?
I think that's a conversation for the MLB schedulers, but it's weird.
Yeah, I don't super pay attention to any other team really, but I don't ever remember it being you fly out to Seattle and then to Colorado and then you come home for 7 games and then you fly back out to the West Coast and then you come home and then it's the All-Star break and then you come home and then you're back out to the West Coast for a week. Like, was it 19 where they started the season on the West Coast and it was like they were there for 2 weeks?
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
And that was awful. That was terrible. But you got it out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, better to get it all done at once rather than just break it up at random points in the season.
Yeah, having to take 3 cross-country trips, I think, is a little crazy.
Yeah, and I follow teams, but not heavily. I mean, I haven't seen a crazy travel schedule compared to this. So maybe they hate the Red Sox, just like Pacoda.
Pacoda will always hate the Red Sox, no matter what. But yeah, I mean, the second half schedule is tough. You're going to see the Rays a lot. You're going to see the Orioles, some at home, some on the road. You're going to see the Guardians. You're going to see the Cubs. You're going to see the Yankees. Judge will be back by then. And it's the Yankees at home. The A's are a good team. The Rangers will have something to play for. Seattle has something to play for.
NL teams too. I think outside the Red Sox, I follow the NL a lot more heavily than the AL, just because it's more fun. You have the Pirates, the Marlins have been surging lately. If they carry that if they carry that momentum into August, that remains to be seen. But Otto Lopez looks like he could win the batting title. And well, you were texting about this earlier. If they trade Alcantara,
I don't think they will now.
Mm-hmm.
That division is so because they're in the same division with the Braves and the Phillies. You kind of assume that those are the two teams that are coming out of that division. But if the Marlins are playing this level of baseball and the Braves can't figure it out, open some doors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just the Diamondbacks always give them trouble at home. A couple years ago, I was at the game the game at Fenway where Bello gave up 7 earned runs against the Diamondbacks. And
that's a stadium I want to go out to. Was it Chase Field or whatever it is out there? It looks like a really cool stadium. I would really enjoy going out there.
Yeah, the pool is cool.
Yeah. I love stadiums that have quirky. I mean, obviously the Fenway has the green monster, but I love quirky things like that. The Rays stadium used to have the Rays tank and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think that stuff's cool.
But yeah,
so we'll see.
I'm sorry.
We will see. I don't have a ton of faith. I've said that all season, essentially. I would love to be surprised, but being surprised also means that Aroldis Chapman is probably here through the end of the season, and Sonny Gray is still here through the end of the season, and Garrett Whitlock is still here through the end of the season. But I know you just bought a Garrett Whitlock jersey, so I'm sure you're hoping that he sticks around. But if teams are willing to call about him,
it doesn't.
There's three people on this team that I think should be untouchable.
It's obviously what is it? Bello, Duran, and
Trevor
Slayton. Story. Oh no, it's even worse. Yeah, the Holy Trinity.
Yeah, I did write an entire dummy article about the hitters of the month, and it was Trevor Story, Jarren Duran, and Masataka Yoshida. So
yeah. Oh.
But I don't think that you listen to anything on Crochet, Anthony, or Tolley.
Yeah.
Everybody else. No, there's a price. We talked about this in the Slack today. I don't want to trade Wilson, but if a team is willing to get really stupid to acquire Wilson Contreras, we're talking 2, maybe 3 top 10 prospects. He's gone. You have to do
that. I've heard his name pop up in some of these trade rumors, but I wonder. I mean, I don't think he's a jerk. But other people might,
what
and I wonder.
Is,
the perception around him might affect his trade value.
I think probably a little bit, and obviously the suspension isn't going to help. So I'll check here before we hop off. I don't think there's been any update in his appeal. Top stories, awaiting suspension appeal. That was 2 hours ago from the Globe. It said Cade Cavalli had his reduced from 7 to 5 games, but it's still just missing 1 start. So I would be shocked if Contreras doesn't get reduced. It's not going to go away by any means because he threw his helmet. But I'm hoping for 4 games. I think 5 is probably where they'll end up, though.
Yeah, and I mean, since they're not in it, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but
yeah, he just becomes less fun for us to watch when he's not on the field.
Yeah, he's electric.
Yeah. But I think that pretty much does it for episode 53 of the Talk Sox podcast. Is there anything you want to hit that we didn't hit?
No, I think, just go Red Sox.
Yeah. I will be in Chicago on Thursday, but we are not going to the game. Our plane lands not long before first pitch, and so we didn't want to pre-purchase tickets and the flight get delayed or something like that. So I won't be at that game, but I'll be in the same city that they're in for at least an hour or 2 after the game ends. So we'll be back here next week. I don't know if it'll be Monday or Tuesday. I get back home Monday. But with it being All-Star Week, we've kind of got some flexibility next week. So we'll talk that out, and we will catch you guys next week here on the Talk Sox podcast. See you then.